In the past several videos, we have learned that Henry is a hardworking American veteran who created a big family and built up numerous properties to retire with. Henry and his wife Josephine put all of the properties into common law express family trust. On April 2nd, 2013, Josephine runs away with all of the trust and leaves Henry homeless and destitute. Henry files suit against Josephine on June 4th, 2013. His attorney mistakenly filed it as equitable distribution instead of an action for breach of fiduciary duty. By September of 2013, Josephine had hired Tyler Ray to protect trust assets and for trust litigation. Tyler Ray remains in the case until May 10th of 2019. On August 10th, 2022, while Tyler Ray is clerk of court, Fritz Mercer throws Joni in jail even though she has a power of attorney for Henry, she's a secondary beneficiary to the case, and Henry has a doctor's note saying that he has to have somebody help him with read and listening and his eyesight's really bad. Also on August 10th, 2022, after Fritz Mercer throws Joni in jail and right before he lets her out, he orders Josephine's attorney to take all of the trust money in New York and give it to Josephine, or at least half of it, and they would give her the other half later. Tyler Ray never filed Joni's appeal for the August 10th, 2022 arrest. And now we continue with Joni's lawsuit against Tyler Ray.
12. On March 11th of 2023, my dad, Henry Ramo, passed away from this earth several days after heart surgery, Exhibit 7. "13. On June 12th of 2023, I appear before James Marshall, who informs me that I require a letter of testamentary or letter of administration to move in place of Henry Ramo's estate, Exhibit 14.
Administrative process when all my father ever wanted was to have a jury. Let's go to our peers, men and women in my own community, who can judge whether or not what we bring forth into this courthouse, the courthouse that I've been into for 30 years, helping and assisting other people also, that we come before a jury, we lay the facts upon the record, let the other side lay their facts upon the record, and let a jury, because I trust those people to make a decision. Because I sure don't trust what has been happening for 10 years. My father raised me on the Constitution.
Ma'am.
Yes, sir.
Okay. In order for those issues to be appropriately presented to the court, there must be a representative of the estate. I have no control under what the estate statutes say and what the Trust Act statute says, but those things must be followed. And so what I'm directing you to do is to please contact a lawyer to find out what, if any, administrative process needs to be filed so that someone can qualify and be substituted in for the estate, so those arguments can be put forth to court to rule on them. Now, what also I am doing is, because after more than 90 days, okay, I'm also going to try to put the Estates Department on notice to consider, I can't order them to do anything, but to consider appointing the public administrator. If that person qualifies, or you or anyone else in the family qualifies to administer the estate, then you can handle the estate and be substituted into the action. But I have to follow the statutes, and that's my understanding of the statutes. I want to give you your day in court, okay? I do. But until you have the necessary administrative process complied with, I can't do anything, okay? So the estate has to step into the shoes of your father. Okay, and that takes a procedure to be completed in the clerk's office. Okay, so I need you to go down there and talk to them. They're very nice down there. They will gladly talk to you. Trust me, they will. Okay.
Would you come with me? Because
I cannot do that, ma'am. I'm sorry.
I'm honestly very concerned. I've been arrested 3 times.
Madam Clerk.
Number 14. On June 16 of 2023, I filed declaration for testamentary along with certified death certificate and Henry Ramo's last will and testament with Estate Administration Office for Henderson County that is under the control of J. Tyler Ray. My file is given number 23E576 by Clerk. That would be Exhibit 8.
Yeah, that's me.
Okay.
I didn't
fill out your
realize.
paperwork yet?
No, I thought we were going to sit down and talk about it. She said we'd be sitting down, I thought, and talk for about she said it would take 45 minutes to an hour.
It sounds like you're trying to open up the full estate, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Do you have the death certificate?
I
when you
do.
Passed away?
I do.
You have? Was there a will?
I do have it.
Okay, so we'll need those first.
I have
So
it.
go ahead and give those to us now, okay?
Okay.
And then we'll talk to you about what happens next, but I need to see that first.
Okay, any other information I got, like his father? So this is the death certificate, and I got it certified. And I put exhibit 1 and 2 because I had some paperwork to put in. And she said first this has to be filled out, so I put this as exhibit 2, which is also notarized and sealed.
Hold on just a second, okay? So Henry Ramo.
Yes,
Are you Joni?
I am.
Thank you.
My dad's name's still
Here's
on the
this.
title. My mom's gonna sell it this weekend, but
I'm
she
going
opened
to
something up
keep
when
the
you
will.
died.
I'm going to keep the will,
Okay.
and I'll give you a copy of it, okay?
Okay, great.
I'll give that to you, and then I'll give this back to you as well. And we'll file the will. That doesn't mean we'll probate it. We're just putting it in a file.
Okay.
And then, if you would, talk to an attorney before you do anything, just so you can get an idea of what you should do.
So we go into court on June 12th, and to our amazement, they have a real judicial officer on the bench. First time I think I might have ever seen that one in Hendersonville. And he was doing the things that a judicial officer is supposed to do. He was telling her, hey, I wish for you to see your day in court. I wish for you to receive justice. I'm not trying to snatch those things away from you, like everybody else does. And Joni, she didn't realize that. She thought she was being attacked because every time she goes into court, they attack her, lock her up, rob her or her family. It's a vicious cycle. Nobody seems to care. I guess people in the public won't really mind when it happens to them so much. And so Joni takes that advice thinking, hey, Tyler Ray's job is purely ministerial. He's only there to witness that my dad, Henry Ramo, is not around anymore, and I'm the best candidate to carry out the estate. So she goes down there on June 16th. And I wish for you to notice that she gave him a death certificate and they made a copy of it. That's going to be important later. And after that, she didn't hear anything for a month. So she goes back on July 17th.
15. On July 17 of 2023, I returned to Estate Administration Office for Henderson County to file 3 declarations from my brothers, Exhibit 8 and 16. Number 16, on July 17 of 2023, I returned to Estate Administration Office for Henderson County to file and serve J. Tyler Ray with a letter to perform his lawful ministerial duty to issue letter of testamentary or declare upon the record by what lawful authority Mr. Ray does not issue said letter. Exhibit 9. Hello.
Hi. How can we help you?
Yes, could I see my file 13? Well, the last 3 is 576.
What's the year number?
23 this year.
23576?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, okay. So I'd like to put in some documents. I've got an original here, a declaration. I'd like these put into my file.
Well, this is a closed file, ma'am. It's not active.
I've court on Monday, the 6th, I believe.
Why would it be closed?
Someone helping you?
Thank you, yes.
Okay.
I appreciate it, thank
Okay, I'm not exactly sure what you're trying to do because we do not have a last will and testament in the file.
you. I brought it in.
Well, no, ma'am, you brought in a piece of paper that's a last will and testament, but it's not a last will and testament. It doesn't say anything. It doesn't leave anything to anybody. It doesn't do anything.
These are my father's wishes that I handle everything, and there's actually no money left in his estate, so I
But
just,
it has to say all of that. I mean, it has to spell out exactly what is supposed to happen, and he doesn't do anything here. So this is not a valid will. And we don't issue declarations of testamentary of trust.
I believe that it would be very similar to an affidavit. It's just I had it notarized, and I believe that the declaration is in the place of an affidavit because it's notarized, right?
Yeah, but you're asking that letters of testamentary be issued to you within 7 days. Nobody's qualified. We don't have an appropriate will to probate. So therefore, we can't do this.
Can't do what?
Issue letters of testamentary.
Okay, I understand that, but if you could just file that in here, I'd appreciate
Yeah,
it.
I've got your copies here.
Okay, thank you.
And I've got my copies that I'll put in the file.
I appreciate
But
that.
I mean, the courts are not going to meet the demands of this letter. So,
And if Lori's here,
And are you saying that the will has to explain more than what it already does, that I'm to carry out my father's last wishes?
but we have to know what those wishes are. You could, I'm not saying that you would, okay? I'm just saying by statute, it has to say what his wishes were. You could make up a whole bunch of gobbledygook and say, these were my father's last wishes that I need to carry out. But we don't know his wishes because he didn't write them down on anything.
Yeah, I made those wishes known in court when I was there last time, and I'll do the same thing when I go to
Well,
court
I don't
in
know
August.
anything about that court. That's a civil court that has nothing to do with the states.
Yeah,
Nothing.
I understand that though.
Okay.
Thank you, yeah.
But
So,
we didn't have receipts for them at the time.
I'm not gonna clock this letter. You can certainly take that with you to court, but I'm not gonna clock this and make it a part of the file.
And I'm not quite sure why you won't include that letter.
And then the other question I had.
Well,
this was on the
because
other
we don't
thing for this
typically
morning.
clock letters. I can
There was
put it
another
in the
voting
file.
letter.
Okay, I'd appreciate
But we
it.
don't clock
That's okay.
them.
I didn't know if I
We
needed
don't
to
clock
fill it out on mine or.
correspondence. I can clip
If
it
it
on this side
changed
of the file,
since
so
we
it
talked.
will just be in here
Okay.
with the date. But it's not made part of the
Yeah,
court
okay, thank
record.
Okay, so let me ask you this. Whose decision is it whether or not someone gets a letter of testamentary?
The court, the
Correct.
statute.
Yeah, and James Marshall, I believe it's the last judge we went to, he told me to come here and submit my documents, and those are the documents that I have
Okay,
for
but
the next
James
court
Marshall
date.
doesn't have any authority over probate court.
And tell me who does.
That would be our clerk, Tyler Ray.
That would be Tyler Ray, of course.
Yes, ma'am. Mhm.
Yes, I'm aware of that. Okay.
17. On July 18 of 2023, I returned to Estate Administration Office for Henderson County to file and serve declaration that I will accept letter of administration in place of letter of testamentary, Exhibit 17.
So after about a month of not hearing anything, Joni Oracle goes back. She's got to get this show on the road. Court's coming up pretty quickly now. Couple of weeks. Hey, what's going on, you guys? Well, the case is closed. Well, how did that happen? Somebody give it judicial authority to close it? No, you never opened it. You didn't give us what we got to have. Well, what's that? Well, you got to have a last will and testament. But we're not going to accept this one. Well, why not? Because it doesn't specify all the assets he doesn't own. It doesn't say where the assets that he doesn't own are not going because he doesn't own any. This is just saying that you're to handle his business. Last business on earth, prosecuting Josephine, which my boss used to defend in this action about trust that they're claiming is equitable distribution. Well, that seems kind of like a conflict of interest. I'm going to file these declarations from all of my brothers. Everybody who interacted and helped Henry survive and live for the last 10 years of his life because they didn't rob him. They all said it was Henry's wishes that I carry on this last business of prosecuting Josephine. Well, you could just be making up a bunch of gobbledygook. You mean like what they do at court when I show up? Like that? Just making up a whole bunch of pretended facts? Creating their own facts, controlling the record, not allowing people from the public to access a court of law, to lay verified claims on the record. And when they do lay verified claims on the record, you arrest them. You mean gobbledygook like that? Really? And with how the clerk was talking about, oh, you can't get a letter of testamentary. You can't get a letter of testamentary. Oracle Joni went back home and was like, I guess I can't, because that's only if they accepted the will, the last will and testament. Maybe I'll write a declaration saying, hey, I'll accept a letter of administration in its place. We could do that. And she goes to file it the next day. And then she goes back on the 19th because she's got to get this stuff done. Let's see what happens then.
18. On July 19th of 2023, I return to Estate Administration Office in Henderson County to A. Pay fee. The clerk refused. B. Verify. No other claim has been made on Henry's estate. C. To verify. Only J. Tyler Ray could issue letters of testamentary or administration. Exhibit 18. 19. On July 21 of 2023, I place July 19 declaration in the custody of the United States Postal Service and mail to J. Tyler Ray. Exhibit 8 and 10. So I'm going to give you, I guess you take a Visa for the $120 filing fee.
I can't take a Visa.
Oh, do I
What
go?
is it for?
Well, there's a filing fee, isn't there, for
Yeah,
this?
when you qualify, when you fill out the paperwork.
I've already done all that.
You haven't filled out any paperwork.
Everything that your paperwork has asked me of, I put it in the declarations, and I
It
gave.
doesn't work that way.
And why not?
Because there's paperwork you file.
But all the elements that you asked for is already in here, and I did it under pain and penalty of perjury. So I took the extra step and did a declaration and got it notarized.
Okay. So,
I would have to talk to my clerk to see if
Sure.
I could take it. And
this
he's
was
on
transferred into
vacation
your
this
Is that
week.
Tyler Ray?
right?
Yes,
Okay,
ma'am. He'll
so-
be back
so
next
then
week.
you just date,
Oh, what
put
day
your name
next
and
week
sign
will he
and
be
all that
back?
stuff, okay?
If you'll come at the end of next week, that way he can get all of his hearings done, and I can talk to him about this before you come back.
Okay, so for now, you're not going to accept the filing fee.
I can't accept
should I
what
also
you've
put
put
it
in
here?
here.
Yes.
I've never received anything like this before, so I don't know that I can accept it as it is. I would need to get his permission.
Okay, even
Okay.
though it includes everything that was asked for.
Yes,
So.
ma'am.
On July 19th, Joni goes in again. Has anybody else made a claim on the estate? No? Can I pay you guys? You guys never took a filing fee from me. No, I can't pay you. You guys gonna issue that letter of testamentary? Only Tyler Ray can issue it? Nobody else can? Yeah? Why won't you issue it? You don't have the qualifying documents. I got all the elements of law in that declaration right there. What's the problem? What's the issue? Well, this looks incredibly strange to us. We've never seen anything like it before. We've never seen a man or a woman come into this courthouse and exercise their rights. That's why we keep telling you to go get an attorney. That's how foreign the exercise of rights are in our society. Well, when will you know something? I'll talk to Tyler Ray. We'll know something next week. Great. Let's see what happens next week.
20. On July 27 of 2023, I returned to Estate Administration Office in Henderson County as requested of me on July 19th. A. I again offered to pay fee and was refused. B. I request and purchase 2 certified court records of file 23E576. C. I verify no one else has made a claim on Henry Ramos' estate. D. I once again am told the file is closed for not having qualification documents. 21. On July 27 of 2023, I discover at the Estate Administration Office for Henderson County that A. J. Tyler Ray admits to conflict of interest. B. That file 23E576 appears to be missing the certificate of death. I file attached to declaration on June 16 of 2023. C. That after considerably more than a month, J. Tyler Ray's office has yet to contact a clerk to transfer said case to. Exhibit 19. Number 22. To this day, I have yet to receive a letter of testamentary, letter of administration, or any lawful declaration as to my right to receive said letter or be denied.
Hi. You've helped me before. I'm Joni Ramo. It's for file 23E576.
Okay.
I was told to come back here at the end of the week to see if a letter of administration has been put in for me for Henry Ramo estate. Ramo.
We spoke with Mr. Ray regarding this estate, and he's going to transfer it to a different county. He cannot hear any hearings on it because of a conflict of interest. And he's talking to the surrounding counties to see which one he's going to be able to transfer it to. But we won't be doing anything further on the file here. It will be transferred out of county.
So, Tyler Ray is the clerk of court?
That's correct.
And so he cannot, you're saying that he cannot give me a letter of testamentary or a letter of administration because there's a conflict of interest.
He can't hear any matters in the case because there's a conflict. He represented your mother in the divorce
And
years
in the
ago
trust. Yeah,
when he was in private practice. So therefore, he cannot hear any matters in this estate at all.
Yeah, he also
So
represented
that's
her
why
for the trust.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's why he can't hear it. So that's why it's being transferred out of county.
So when will I know anything?
He hopefully will be able to get in touch. He's got somebody in mind, but he needs to make sure that it's okay that he transfers it. You just always give a courtesy call to that county and let them know that you're transferring something to them. So hopefully we should know something the first of the week.
The first of the week. Okay, so
Bombshell surprise! Tyler Ray has a conflict of interest. And the bombshell surprise is not that he had a conflict of interest. We already knew that. The bombshell surprise is that he admitted to it. But let's just put that on the back burner for a second, because I don't even believe that's the most important part or takeaway from this. In my opinion, the most important part or takeaway is the fact that they showed you the manipulation of the court record, of the public court record, of your court record. They're manipulating it to use it against you. And why are they manipulating it in this case? To take a dead man's right to justice away from him. How low can you actually stoop? How low can you actually stoop? Wasn't enough you took his right away from justice while he was living. It wasn't enough that you created a veteran to be homeless when we have such a homeless veteran problem in America. And this veteran actually worked for multiple homes, had multiple homes in common law trust. But he couldn't access any of them. He had to live with his children for some reason because we have such a just society. And what was missing? The certified death certificate? You mean the one document that you have to carry on an estate action? Why can't you file this? Why is the case not open? Well, you don't have the qualifying documents. Oh, you mean like the certificate of death? Well, you haven't filled out our paperwork. We can't take these forms. We can't take what you've produced and met all of the requirements and elements in law about. You have to sign this form. Here's a copy of the form. And when you go to GS 28A-4-2, it gives the High Clerk the power and the authority through statute to just fine any person unsuitable for any reason. I even tried looking up the case law on this, and I couldn't find any. They seem to have pretty much limitless discretion, is what it appears. The courts don't actually define and say, hey, here's where that power starts, and here's where it stops. You can't go outside these coloring lines. You don't have that much discretion. And Joni Oracle didn't feel like giving up that sort of discretion to Tyler Ray with his conflict of interest and it concerning her dad's only rights, only property left on earth, and her duty to perform. Her duty to perform his wishes. And just think about that for a minute. We can't give you a right unless you sign and swear to this document that we can take that right away from you for any reason. Because this is America and we have rights. Just think about how absurd that sounds. How ridiculous that sounds to any normal or sane person. And this is literally what the courts are telling you. This is literally what the government is telling you. And the reason they get away with it is because nobody actually stands up to it. Nobody actually says, hey, no, we have rights because we created you in America. You didn't create us. This is why here in America, we don't trust government. This is why we don't trust judges. We have juries. It's kind of simple in my opinion. And if Tyler Ray is willing to go this far to take out the certified death certificate, and you remember that letter Oracle was trying to file, that they said, oh, we won't file it, we won't stamp it. Okay, we'll put it in the file, but we won't stamp it because that's not what they do. Well, apparently they stamped it 10 minutes after she left, so they refused to stamp it for her. Again, neglecting to perform their duty. And we didn't even know until the case was passed off and all of the documents reappeared. But that's not what this Declaration for Extraordinary Writs is about. So we'll have to get into that later. And you remember when Oracle went back on the 19th? Right here. I don't know about you, but it looks like that is the last page in the stack. I don't believe that the death certificate is in that file. Which means if it wasn't in that file at that moment in time, it was gone for over a week. And the worst part about this is when Oracle went back to file against Tyler Ray, when Joni went to go file this lawsuit against Tyler Ray, he still hadn't done anything about moving the case that he had already admitted to her he had a conflict of interest on. Courts in less than a week, less than 7 days. He had over a month and a half to do something about it, close to 2 months. And he still hadn't done anything about it. You want to know why? Because he doesn't think anybody's going to hold him accountable. And why does he think nobody's going to hold him accountable? Because with all of the crimes that have gone on in that courthouse, perpetrated by the personnel running the courthouse, nobody's ever really gotten in trouble. Yeah, Greg Newman lost his position, had to move somewhere else. He still collects a government check. Nobody has gotten in trouble. That's exactly why he believes that you're not going to care. He believes that he can falsify your records, that he can issue false judgments, take money away from people of the public, and nobody will care because nobody will know what to do because you're not an attorney, you're not a lawyer, so you don't have rights. That's kind of what I'm thinking. And if you wish to know how to secure and protect and regain those rights that we have already lost, stick around till the next video, because at the end of it, when Oracle gets done with her presentation on this declaration, I'm going to tell you exactly what to do. It's not that hard, and this is the only way we have any chance of bringing heaven down to earth. We are just conspiracy, and we hope you stick around for just another moment while Oracle reads you Baba's last will and testament.
Last will and testament. I, Henry Ramo, appoint Joni Marie Ramo to title of Creator of Trusts, Head of House of Ramo, and Executor, Trustee, Protector, and Administrator of my last will and testament. I, Henry Ramo, am blessed by sound mind and peaceful soul. Will Joni Marie Ramo upon my death and return to Heavenly Father to continue all of my business and battles on the earthly plane until resolution. Henry Ramo, April 18, 2020, 11:33 a.m.